Hi, today we're going to look at Chainlink, ticker symbol Link, currently at $24 and in terms of market cap at rank number 12. So Chainlink has a market cap of approximately 11 billion. We will look at Chainlink's charts, but not only the link to US dollar chart, we will also compare Chainlink to Bitcoin. So this is Chainlink in Bitcoin. And what I like to do is to look at any altcoin's performance versus Ethereum, because Ethereum tends to be higher correlated to any altcoin than Bitcoin is. Now we will also look at Chainlink's competitors. So for example, there's the Band protocol. So we will directly compare Band with Link. We will divide the Link price with the Band price, and that's the chart you get here. And then there's another competitor called API3. That's this chart over here. And again, we will compare Chainlink and API3 in a relative performance chart. Now this channel is about technical analysis. I'm not going into the fundamentals of Chainlink at all. There's a very neat video by Coin Bureau about the fundamentals of Chainlink. I will link this in the video description as well. But here we'll only look at the data, only at the charts. And we will try to do this in a proper, sophisticated way. So you'll not see me drawing trend lines just like this and, then tell you, oh, there's maybe a good risk versus reward. We might drop 30%. We might increase 200%. Go ahead and buy Chainlink. That's, I think, the wrong way to do technical analysis, because nobody knows if these kind of trends continue. How valid are those lines really? Because in the end, Chainlink doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? Crypto investment, it moves from coin to coin. People speculate on whatever is currently the best. And so you have to make comparisons. So let's look at Chainlink versus Bitcoin. This is the Chainlink price divided by the Bitcoin price. And over the very long term, Chainlink is outperforming Bitcoin by now approximately 300%. Now, what's also interesting about this chart is that recently, since August of last year, we came down more than 66%. And that's quite surprising, because if we look at Bitcoin dominance since August of last year, we can see that it actually fell, right? The Bitcoin dominance fell from 60% down to currently 46%. So altcoins on average, they have gained throughout this time, right? Bitcoin as a percentage of the overall crypto market cap, it has lost. So Bitcoin is less important. But for Chainlink, that's not the case. Chainlink has lost versus Bitcoin, while other altcoins outperformed. Now let's compare Chainlink to Ethereum. So the Chainlink price divided by the Ethereum price. And here it looks even worse. Again, since middle of August last year, we see a staggering underperformance of more than 80%. Now, why is that? I'm not getting into the fundamentals too much, but it's rumored that the developer team is selling and a lot of new supply hits the market, and thus we see this continuously depressed price. Now let's quickly jump back to dominance charts again. This is now the Ethereum dominance. So how important is Ethereum as a fraction of the overall crypto market? And we can see that Ethereum's importance went up since the beginning of the year, right? So we came from approximately 7% to currently more than 20%. So Ethereum was really gaining, and a lot of altcoins moved with it. If you look, for example, at Cardano's dominance since the beginning of the year, it went from 0.5% to 2.5%. If you look at Polkadot, same thing. Polkadot's dominance went up. And even for Dogecoin, we saw a massive rally, right? So the largest altcoins, they gained ground. Bitcoin dominance fell. Bitcoin is not as important anymore in the overall crypto space. And so the fact that Chainlink relative to Ethereum is underperforming that much since the beginning of the year is not very encouraging. Now, there's two ways to look at this, right? You could say, I believe in the fundamentals, and thus this is a good time to buy. We are, comparatively speaking, very cheap in Chainlink right now. The other way to look at this is simply to go with trends and say the momentum is not too positive right now. I might wait until this flips around again and simply ride the momentum. Now, I find these charts very interesting, right? Because if you just look at the long-term US dollar chart in Chainlink, it looks pretty innocent, right? It looks positive. The price is rising over the long term. But the issue is, if Chainlink is not able to outperform much safer coins such as Ethereum that have a market dominance of around 20% versus Chainlink only 0.6%, right? Then you're betting on something that's more risky, but you're not compensated for this additional risk. Ethereum is more than 30 times bigger than Chainlink, and you make more money with it, and that pretty consistently in a relatively low volatility, consistent downtrend. Then if your target is not just to simply diversify, but you really want to bet on the projects with best risk versus reward, simply based on the chart, Chainlink doesn't look too great. Now, I've also promised to show you relative performance to its competitors, Band Protocol and API 3. But before we do this, in case you haven't yet, feel free to like this video because it will help rank the video higher and drive more traffic to the channel. That would be highly appreciated. So here we go. This is the link price divided by the Band Protocol price. And we can see we're pretty much in a trading range here, right? You could draw some support and resistance lines. But in the end, what we can observe is we're pretty much in the middle here. Chainlink doesn't look very expensive or very cheap, relatively speaking, to Band Protocol. Now, it's pretty hard to trade this chart actively, but I like to look at these comparable graphs just to see how is a particular project doing within a sector. And since there's not a lot of outperformance or underperformance, we can also infer Band hasn't been doing too well either, right? This is now the Band to US dollar price. And now let's look at API 3. That's the US dollar price. And here the relative performance to Link. Same story. We are basically in a trading range and in the middle of that trading range. Now, what would I buy if I only had to pick one of those three projects? Chainlink, Band Protocol, or API 3? I'd probably go with Chainlink simply because it has the highest market cap and it has a similar performance. So higher market cap in general tends to mean less risk, right? Larger projects, larger communities, more adoption. And so the larger you go with your market cap, the less performance you can expect. But since the performances are pretty much the same, just go with the one that's larger. Now let's say despite the Ethereum underperformance, you like Chainlink, you like the fundamentals, and you're looking for an entry point to buy Chainlink. What's a good way to time this? What I like to do is to use the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, and then depending on your time horizon, you can do two approaches. If you're willing to wait, you can just simply use the daily RSI with the 30 cutoff, the standard setting. And if you just look historically, you would have gotten quite nice entry points over here, right? On the 20th of September, quite nice entry point over here. 13th of March last year, same thing. And just recently, on the 21st of July, this would have been a quite nice entry point as well. Now, if you're not willing to wait several months for an entry point, because obviously these signals, they don't get triggered too often, you can also use the hourly RSI. So you simply switch to hourly. But in this case, I tend to prefer to use not the 30 threshold, but the 20 threshold. Because when we look at, for example, Ethereum and we backtest buying Ethereum whenever the hourly RSI goes below 20, we get quite good results. And so I would take the same for any altcoin when you're looking for short-term altcoin entries. So for example, we wouldn't have bought over here, right? Because we're still in a relatively slow downtrend. But once the RSI really hits low, this means that the movement to the bottom is very quick. That's basically what the RSI is measuring. It measures how quickly are we moving up or down. And so when the RSI is very low, we can say we are really quote unquote crashing. And after a crash, very often we see a recovery because people have their reference prices, right? They bought over here, then it crashes very quickly. And so it looks like a discount, right? It looks like we just dropped another, say, 15% in a very short time period. That's a chance. Let me buy some. But if you're only bleeding very slowly, the psychology works a little bit differently. You don't really find a nice time to buy. So historically speaking, for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, an RSI below 20 are good entry points. And it's the same here for Chainlink as well. So if you're interested in buying Chainlink, what you can do is go to TradingView to the alerts. So that's this icon over here. And then you select the RSI. Whenever it falls below the value of 20, notify me with every bar close and send me an email. Done. So just check your email. Whenever you get an email by TradingView that this indicator has been triggered, that's probably, relatively speaking, a good time to buy. Hope you enjoyed the video. In case you're looking for a nice community, we are currently 150 people here on Telegram. Feel free to join us. Simply search for Bitcoin Strategy channel or click the link in the video description. It's a completely spam-free channel. It's monitored very closely. We like to discuss crypto over there. feel free to join us. And if you haven't yet, feel free to subscribe to this channel as well. I publish videos at least every other day. And of course, you might consider turning on the bell as well, because you don't want to learn about these analyses after 2 months, right? This is time-sensitive content, so you might as well watch the video when it comes out. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye.